Thanks a lot, Your Excellency, dear guests, dear colleagues. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of Chișinău City Hall and all our inhabitants, and to thank for this kind of opportunity. If I may see the presentation. Okay. Well, so when it comes to Chișinău, the capital city of Republic of Moldova, the country that is bordered to Ukraine, especially in those really affected regions like Odessa, because we are 170 kilometers from Odessa, then Nikolaev, Kherson, and many other cities. So the first refugee that crossed the border with Republic of Moldova at Palanca, this is in the south of our country, it's near to Odessa, it's like 47 kilometers to Odessa, was accommodated by Chișinău hub. So we had a big center. It used to be before 2 months we arranged it for refugees. And it was like closed but conserved. Triage center for COVID. That's why, in a sense, for us, it was really easy to change the protocols. Nobody in that region had such an experience, and hope never will have in any region of Europe and the world. But as I said, so the first one passed through the border. The first one was accommodated by our Mold Expo Center. It's a big expo pavilions with a capacity of 900 persons to accommodate per night. In 3 days, we changed the concept, and it started to be a hub and to place people in different other centers that we started to activate during the 26th, 28th of February, and up till the 10th of March, we already had 45 centers with a total capacity of 4,000 people to accommodate per night. That was done together with the public partners like universities, and of course with the private partners, hotels, and so on and so on. So we had our capacities, and we had to do everything we could do in that sense. And I want to state once again that what is being said about Moldova, it's a small country with a very big heart. I've never seen such a solidarity. Just for you to imagine, we have this warehouse, big warehouse, where 600 volunteers were working to arrange all these products, clothes, and so on and so on. And we had thousands of people coming at least 10 to 14 days continuously to bring this help, and then volunteers put it on the shelves and so on and give to the people. So on the third day, the general concept of receiving center at Mold Expo was that you don't stay more than 24 hours. Mainly there were kids and women, and we arranged to have all the necessary assistance from COVID testing. At that time it was quite actual, both for the Ukraine and for Republic of Moldova. It was March after Omicron wave. It was not so damaging as Delta one, 3 months before, but in any case, many of those who were asking for passing the border, because Moldova was a transit country, those Ukrainians who entered Moldova didn't stay more than 3 days, actually. Both in terms of those who had accommodation at the hotels, rent apartment, or relatives. We have a lot of relatives in that region, and those who were accommodated by us. As I said, so we had different kind of accommodation. Hotels, campuses, this big hub center, and even big sports zones with a capacity from 400 to 800 people at a time. We arranged together with civil society and economic agents. So we had 3 weeks ago diploma ceremony, like, but just for you to imagine, if we were assuring for 1,000 people hot meals a day, then another 3,000 portions of hot meals were made by volunteers taking the products, going to Horeca, those where people are ordering for free, for example. Yes, it was such a consortium, let's say so. Yeah, even Horeca was very difficult to make it after COVID because they suffered a lot in terms of economic indicators and so on and so on. So. Okay, so donations, as I said, were by the people, by the economic agents, and we had a lot of donations from our brothers in Romania, from cities, especially I would like to mention here Cluj and many other counties, and then our sister cities in Germany, in France, in Spain, a lot of assistance, and up till now, just for you to know, so we have quite good cooperation with Japan and Korea and some European countries that are offering by the day packages for those who are not placed in our accommodation center but still live on the territory of Chișinău. We estimate that there is a population of about 7,000 people. We don't know exactly what is the number because it's changing continuously. Okay, this was what we did in the first week. It was like 600 volunteers and 700 employees detached at all. So they did not manage anything in the city. This was public servant that were dealing with the refugee crisis. It was really very difficult. When we say 270, just have to imagine that it's 1 or 2 days. It's not an important sum, for example, for Germany or for any other city, but we had to do it, to buy pillows, to buy in the first 2 days against the bidding rules. Okay. So transportation from the borders to Chișinău provided from the first day with our autobuses. There were 50 to 70 autobuses by day bringing people. In the first week, just for you to imagine, we had all the geographic area of the people because Odessa region is a commercial region. Then we have a lot of universities in Ukraine. That means we had a lot of people from Asia, China, India, Korea, and so on and so on. Then in the Middle East, a lot of countries, Northern Africa, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, and so on. Even South America, Caucasus, Georgia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, and so on. One interesting thing that we learned is multiculturalism, because finally in 3 to 5 days we managed to organize to avoid conflicts and to for example, centers for Orthodox Jewish people, for Muslims separately, because of the eating, because of the praying, because of the historic issues, you know. So together with embassies and a lot of representatives of social society, we did it. Well, if to speak about the data up till now, so we had 22,000 refugees that were accommodated. There were several days that there was 4,000 people a day. There are more than 42 packages, humanitarian packages that were distributed through what means a package. I was saying to Deputy Mayor. So it's not a bottle of anything. It's a big package for a family. Then when we speak about in terms of beneficiaries, then it's quite a big number of finally, so pastries, all kind of meat and fish and hygienic products. And the biggest challenge now is clothes for small kids, because it's 3 months, then in 6 months it's totally another, and so on and so on. So At the first stage, we had a lot of people coming in very bad position in terms of health. Many diabetics who decompensated 3, 4, 5 days, and so on. So we issued a minimum package of services that was primary healthcare, reception and distribution of food, social counseling services. Each adult person was counseled by a psychology 2 times a day, and each kid was playing with our social assistant, social protection, child protection assistant, and so on and so on. Well, we had legal advice because in that terms there were a lot of problems, a lot of people coming without their documents, without passports and so on. So migration and asylum. And now what we do right now is employment, education, medicine, asylum, occupational activities for children, pet care. Not a pet was allowed to be outside, and not a person was allowed to be outside. So we managed to do everything that is up to a certain standard. So now we have 831 persons enrolled in schools and kindergartens in Chișinău municipality. That means 90% of all the country. It was 400 more on 31 of May. People are returning back home, and that's a good issue. Hope this war and this aggression will finish as soon as possible. We have almost 10,000 medical refers, mainly to all the municipal hospitals, and now 1,500 young people with members of our municipal centers. And now we develop economic empowerment program to grant and to give small grants and to encourage common startups between Ukrainian youth and Moldovan youth to develop their businesses. Well, there are some data as well. The best and the nicest, I think, the 36 births in our municipal hospitals. All the system of care is oriented to data. We can speak about that, but I don't want to bother you too much. So what is now? Creating jobs and offer better livelihoods, increase economic growth, including through economic empowerment programs, improve social inclusion, so not a person left alone, promote the decoupling of living standards and economic growth from environmental resource use, and protect local and regional ecosystems. We still do a lot of holidays together, and many other. So what's important to say, even in that difficult times, I would like to assure you that in the first month, the 90% of the pressure was on Chișinău city, and I've never seen such a solidarity between economic agents, simple people, and the local public administration, together with a lot of international missions and our partners in different EU countries, and not only EU countries. To conclude, not a person was without an accommodation, without a hot meal, and without assistance. Of course, we would like to finish everybody as soon as possible, if it is possible right now. But in any case, changing the protocols, learning from different kind of lessons, we are ready now. We are much more prepared than it was half a year ago to address these kind of problems. Thanks a lot, and hope war ends as soon as possible to avoid this aggression. Thanks.